What's going on, everybody? This is Jeff with Living in Arizona, and today we are going to talk about Cave Creek and Carefree in North Phoenix, North Scottsdale. So, for those of you who do not know what Cave Creek is or what Carefree is, they are basically high desert communities. Probably, I would say, number two or three in the state of Arizona, or at least in the Phoenix metropolitan area, in terms of places to live. And that would be behind maybe Fountain Hills or Paradise Valley if you've got the big bucks. So Carefree is where, I think Michael Jordan had a house. Ken Griffey Jr. had a house up in Desert Mountain, which is over there by the Tonto Hills. But for the most part, it wraps around this mountain called Black Mountain. On the backside of Black Mountain, you can see this beautiful mountain called Elephant Butte. They call it Elephant Butte because it looks like an elephant. So there's these mountains that are in the backdrop behind Cave Creek and Carefree that extend from Elephant Butte all the way towards New River, which goes towards I-17 and Lake Pleasant, and then the other direction, which is towards Tonto Hills, which is toward Bartlett Lake and Horseshoe Lake. So up there in Cave Creek and Carefree, like I said, you have these beautiful big homes that are built on the side of Black Mountain, and Carefree really extends around desert foothills. They have a resort out there called the Boulders. The Boulders is definitely, it's been there for years. When I used to live in Carefree, my grandpa had a house up there, and we stayed in it when I was a kid. And I remember I used to go to the Boulders and walk around the desert and pick up golf balls so I could see what the golf course looked like. It's awesome. It's this lump of boulders that's in place, and right in front of it's this place called the El Pedregal. But Carefree is also world renowned, or well, mostly known for its sundial. The sundial, if you don't know what a sundial is, it basically tells time using the sun. And that is on a road called Easy Street. That area is just, it's boutique shopping, and it's just artsy. It's really artsy. It's not like that amazing, but people like to go there to get their souvenirs and stuff like that. If you go down the road a bit, you'll start going down Cave Creek or into Cave Creek. The first stop you'll come to really after you start heading down the mountain a little bit is Harrold's, which is a Wild West bar. And people like to go to Harrold's and spend time because it's been there forever, ever since I was a kid. Harrold's, it's this wood saloon. It's really a saloon. Next door to that is Buffalo Chip, which recently burned down, but it's back in action. And then there's the Hideaway, and there's just many different places along that road there that you can go down Cave Creek Road and just see all sorts of different, old Western style places. It's really just a rustic Wild West kind of town that's been modernized and upgraded to maintain its Western personality, but it's kind of it's overgone an overhaul, really, but not too much. I remember back then they had the Satisfied Frog in what they called Frontier Town. I can't remember if Frontier Town's still there. It's been a while since I've been to that. But across the street, I used to work at El Encanto Mexican Cafe. That's a really good place to eat if you like Mexican food. Go to El Encanto. There's a couple El Encantos actually around. I used to work there though. And then if you just keep going down Cave Creek Road, like I said, go slow. It's not one of those roads where you're going to go very fast, right? So you just kind of take your time and progress down there, and then you wrap around the other side, the backside of Cave Creek, which is where Rancho Manana is. It's a golf course. If you like golf, go play Rancho Manana. It's a public course, unlike the Boulders. And actually, in case you're wondering why it's called Cave Creek, if you go walking down to the Cave Creek and you go up a little bit, there's a cave, and that's where it gets its name, Cave Creek. So that creek it's in the high desert, so it actually kind of looks like it's kind of lush. It's really lush, actually. Yeah, but if you start pushing back into that area, up into the Sonoran Desert, which is really beautiful, you go to places like Spur Cross, and even beyond Spur Cross, it's a lush desert. If you go hike up there, you got Skull Mesa, Elephant Butte, if you're hiking up there, it's it's definitely an alive ecosystem. I mean, whereas like the desert down here in Santan Valley in the Southeast Valley, it's desert. You won't hear all sorts of different bugs and bees and coyotes and who knows what's out there, right? So it's a pretty lush, wild desert, high desert. It's worth checking out. Probably in springtime is when it would be in its peak season. When it's hot, summertime, you might not want to go out hiking too much in the middle of the day. But in spring, I mean, I've hiked up to Skull Mesa. It's a heck of a hike. Or it's a real heck of a hike, actually. It's pretty easy once you're scaling it, but once you get to the very top area, it starts to get kind of iffy up there on Skull Mesa. Skull Mesa is at the very top. You know, they've found some cavalry stuff and Indian artifacts, Native American artifacts up there. Native Americans used to live up in that area, all up in there. You go walk around Spur Cross, you'll see petroglyphs on the ground. Just go off the trail a little bit. I don't know if that's necessarily recommended, but because you got rattlesnakes, and I don't even know if you're allowed to walk off the trail, but just off the trail a little bit, you walk around out there at Spur Cross, you'll see petroglyphs on the ground, which are hieroglyphs. Those are things that ancient civilizations wrote into the ground. Do not step on them, do not touch them, just look at them. You'll see pottery, clay pottery on the ground, arrowheads and stuff like that. People leave it made of obsidian and different types of rocks. You'll sometimes even find shell stuff from the ancient civilizations. How did shells get into the high desert up there in Elephant Butte and Skull Mesa and Spur Cross, right? Well, they had to do some trading probably. Yeah. Cave Creek Carefree, I mean, it's they've got a nice nightlife if you're into the country western scene, but there's not like the pop culture stuff up there in Cave Creek. I mean, they might play pop culture music, but for the most part, it's for bikers and cowboys. Bikers, cowboys, and hillbillies, and city slickers who want to be cowboys, really. That's Cave Creek for you in a nutshell. Carefree is not so much of that western scene. Carefree is more of the, like, you've got money and you kind of want to retire. It's an older person retirement community. I think Johnny Carson lived up there. I remember the house up on the very top of the mountain was Chili Davis's house. And who knows who's got homes up there. I mean, you don't know all the homes up there, but if you look at Black Mountain from the side where it's Carefree side, you'll see some of these mega sized homes that you're just like, wow, that's an amazing house. I mean, if you drive up to those houses, which I don't think you can because it's gated, but I mean, I have ridden bikes up there and hiked up there. You can see down and see what it looks like up there. So yeah, that's Cave Creek and Carefree, and this is a video that was made for someone who asked the question on living in Arizona. They said this came in from Josh Swoop, by the way. So thank you to Josh Swoop for asking the question. He said, "What do you think of Carefree?" And so yeah, guys, if you guys have any other questions about Carefree, Cave Creek, feel free to ask. I hope I at least painted the picture for those of you who do not know what Cave Creek and Carefree is. And yeah, I mean, if you go further south from there, down Scottsdale Road, or even if you go way over towards Pima, you've got Legend Trails, you've got Terra Vita, you've got Terra Vita right there. You've got the high school, which is Cactus Shadows, which is where I went to high school. And then south of there, you've got you start coming into Ashler Hills, which is where like ranch homes are, ranch homes. Then you go to Dixoletta or Lone Mountain, Dixoletta, Dynamite, and then you go to Pinnacle Peak. And when you get into Pinnacle Peak, you start coming into North Scottsdale, and that's where Troon North, Troon, and those beautiful places are. That's North Scottsdale. I think that's actually a sought after place to live as well. And I can make a video about Pinnacle Peak, because Pinnacle Peak all in of itself is a community, although it's North Scottsdale. And that probably extends all the way down to DC Ranch, or well, right around there. I don't know if people would call that Pinnacle Peak, but that whole kind of community extends from the 101 from DC Ranch to Pinnacle Peak. From Pinnacle Peak beyond, it's Legend Trails area, and then beyond Legend Trails is Desert Mountain. And that's North Scottsdale, kind of Cave Creek. So we'll see you guys next time. Subscribe to Living in Arizona if you guys like videos like this.